But I want to thank everyone at the Coptic Solidarity for your steadfast commitment to justice, to human rights, and religious liberty. It's an honor to join so many passionate advocates here today in Washington, D.C. Now, as a Catholic, I feel a deep spiritual connection to the plight of persecuted Christians around the world, and a moral obligation to stand up for those whose faith makes them a target of violence, discrimination, or erasure. Religious freedom is not just a constitutional value, it's a human right. And in my role as chair of the House Foreign Affairs Subcommittee on the Middle East and North Africa, I consider it one of the most important responsibilities to elevate and defend that right. Across the Middle East, indigenous Christian communities, including Copts, Assyrians, and Minorities, are being driven from their homelands by violence, repression, and neglect. Coptic Christians face systemic inequality, violence against churches, and abductions of women and girls, abuses that demand global attention and accountability. These aren't just religious injustices, they are crimes against humanity aimed at erasing the history, identity, and future of entire peoples. Now, my faith has sustained me, like yours, in times of darkness, and it reminds me every day of my responsibility to lift up the voiceless and protect the vulnerable. Right before my dad died 12 years ago, the very last conversation we had, he said to me, "To whom much is given, much is required. You've been given a lot by God. Use those skills to do God's work and keep your moral compass about you." That is our responsibility, not just as elected officials, but as human beings, to keep our moral compass and to do God's work. And there is no greater work than ensuring that when one religious group is targeted, recognizing that all faiths are threatened. And we must be united as Christians, as Jews, as Muslims, as Sikhs, as Hindus, and people of conscience in rejecting religious persecution in all its forms. From Egypt to Sudan to Libya, religious minorities are bearing the brunt of instability and extremism. In Sudan, we've seen horrific violence targeting Christians and other non-Muslim communities. These aren't isolated events. They reflect a broader disregard for pluralism and human dignity. Any serious U.S. engagement in the region must prioritize the protection of these vulnerable communities and not treat them as an afterthought. My faith teaches me that every person is made in the image of God, and that we are all called to love our neighbors as ourselves, especially when they are under threat. And so I will continue working with my colleagues on both sides of the aisle to ensure that the United States leads with moral clarity, and that we never look away when religious freedom is under assault. And to those of you here today, I thank you for your courage and your commitment. You are not alone, and you have a partner in me and in this Congress. So thank you all for being here and raising this vital issue before members of Congress.